Oh, I do have another one. Let's watch this one. This one's an hour 42 minutes. Well, fuck. We'll watch some of it. I can't promise we'll watch all of it. Damn. Studley's on point. Oh, I should put a dot so I know that when I'm rewatching this, I know when I switched videos. Oh, okay, here's a gender ambiguous name. Oh, I see. Makoto was originally conceived as Ryu's sister, and then she was conceived as Goken's daughter. Or Goken's granddaughter, rather. And neither of the ideas did they go through with. But like left it ambiguous for a really long time. Up until Super Street Fighter 4. Which is when they finally just sort of said, nah, not related. I don't remember Makoto's father's name. I think it's like Masaru. But they even have like win quotes acknowledging it in Street Fighter 4. Like, Makoto's win quote against Goken is literally like, "You look like my grandpa." Ooh. You can still cancel a move that's parried. Like, normally you're put into parry freeze when someone parries your attack, but if they parry a cancelable normal, you can still cancel the parried normal. For a lot of reasons. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. For one thing, you can chip someone out with, like, if you're Ken, you can chip someone out with either close strong into uppercut or low short into uppercut. And the first one's high parry only, the second one's low parry only. Goken's daughter slash granddaughter does exist and is a character in the lore. And it's frequently requested as a character that should be introduced. She is as of yet unnamed. That was a frequently requested character. That was the top. That was like the after DiCaprio. That was like the highest speculated. That was like the most speculated character that DiCaprio was gonna be. After the actual like DiCaprio, it's like it's probably either gonna be a Bison doll or it's gonna be um, Goken's daughter. Because all we knew is that it was a character important to the lore and a woman. That was a nice parry. I think he parried twice before he even, or like knowing that it was going to be cancelled to super. If not, it was a just frame parry, which is quite difficult. Nice. On some characters, Ken can do low short, low jab, low short. And on some characters, you have to do low short, low short. That being said, low short is often better because there's a very good option select against Ken, where you do low block and then one high parry. And if Ken does target combo, you parry the second of his target combo, and if he does low short, low jab, you parry the low jab. It's a pretty nice little option select. It's a red parry, but it opens the opponent up. Though he's not a dick in this game. He's just not affiliated with any other character, and he's Kurt. There's nothing fucking dickish about him. I guess he's kind of dickish to like beat your opponent and say gutter trash. Dudley's in canon like one of the strongest fighters in the world, don't forget. Dudley's strength is not even resolved in the events of this tournament. He literally makes it to Gil and then like just he's like, give me my car back. Gil's like here. And then Dudley just forfeits. Dudley's like, I got what I came for. Walk it, fucking meaty low parry. Meaty parries are not typically a thing that you do. Because you don't need to. You could just block. Everything that your opponent can do on wake up is unsafe. You don't need to make it unsafe with a parry. The only viable reversal options are just as vulnerable to blocking. Hi, Jen's Lord. Give me a sec to... This guy, like, asked me something on YouTube and I'm writing a response. Hi, Tawny set. Jump back roundhouse. Roundhouse hits pretty low to the ground. Like, hold on. I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. If Dudley does jump roundhouse, he can hit opponents, like, from pretty high in his jump. Unfortunately, he can't combo out of it unless he just lands in supers. Because the super is insanely fast startup. The fastest normals in this game are usually, like, 4 frames or 5. There are very few 3-frame normals. Or as close jab is 3 frames. Shenli's crouch short, I think, is 3 frames. But there are just very few 3-frame normals. Some kind of high tawny set. I watched this. That was high tawny, huh? I didn't even know. Yeah, it says it right there. High tawny. I didn't even read it. It's in Japanese. Yeah, I just watched the high tawny set like fucking literally like 10 minutes ago. Nice. You should jump forward into, like, that was his only combo coming down. It's really good that he got it. Into Shippujin Raikyaku. He didn't even stop low. He, like, went for, like, a low normal maybe. There's no counter hits in this game, so you don't know when someone gets counter hit. That's what I'm talking about, ducking autocorrects. Pretty cool. I've never executed that, so I don't know if you need to change the motion. I presume you do. I guess you're subscribed to Game a-cho too. Hey, Jones Lord. Cool. Oh yeah, Izzo sent me a message. I didn't even read it. Alright, I already knew this. I have to check what it was real fast. Dudley has all the same target combos in Street Fighter 4 as he does in this game. Most of them are useless. The only ones you ever see are the low target combo, the overhead target combo, and sometimes you see the medium kick hard punch target combos in anti-air. And I guess sometimes you see low or low short, medium kick. You see that one sometimes, I guess. That one's kind of weird. Most of the target combos go unused. They all have very specific purposes. Or they mostly have very specific purposes. You usually don't do the overhead target combo because you can just link it to super instead and the super does more damage. Generously. And normally you don't do the low target combo because you can just do like low short super. So they're basically for like meterless damage, I guess. Damn. Low parry into stand right house, but Ken canceled his low forward into uppercut. That was smart as fuck. Because he wasn't going to do that anyway. He wasn't just throwing out low forward expecting to fucking cancel its uppercut regardless. He did that on reaction to the parry. This is a real good Ken. This is a real good Dudley. These players are both like fucking masterclass. Towards strong, I guess. It's a really weird normal. Dudley's jump is very low to the ground. He's got the lowest jump. He also has pretty good air normals. It makes his jump in game kind of scary. Can't really tech on reaction. What do you mean? You mean like tech throws on reaction? Because Street Fighter 3 and 4 are both, you can't tech throws on reaction. Or do you mean like tech like parry? That was a nice link. It's nice that he was even looking for that. Low strong super is bread and butter for Ken. He did it again. For attack. Yeah, Street Fighter 3 and 4 you can't tech those on reaction. What are you talking about? It's pretty much the same in this game as it is in Street Fighter 4. Those have 3 frames startup and then like there's 7 additional frames after you get through them where you can tech the throw. So basically you have 10 frames to tech a throw. I shouldn't say 10, it doesn't work out quite exactly like that. If they do it on the same frame, they'll trade. I think pretty much every universal overhead will trade with every other universal overhead. They have pretty big hitboxes actually. If they don't do it on the same frame, the one who does it first will win. Nice. The conventional properties of universal overhead are if you block it high, you can punish it. If it hits you high, you can punish it with something really, really fucking fast, I think. If you get hit crouching, it's safe. If it hits meaty, it's potentially you can combo out of it because it's got a lot of active frames. And it can hit meaty from like you waking up off the ground or like hitting you from really far away. Human reaction time is indeed somewhere in the realm of 15 frames. It's closer to like 18. It's like 18 frames. There's different kinds of reaction time. Like human raw reaction time is like 14 milliseconds. I think, right? Or is it like 140 milliseconds? I think it's 140 milliseconds. Yeah, I think it's 140. It's 0.14 of a second. That's 140. But human reaction, like against 2 different options or more, the more options you have to react against, the slower it gets. With just 2 options that you have to react against, like I have to do X unless he does Y, in which I have to do like something else. Or not do anything, even. If you have 2 different things that you have to react with, like let's say I have to keep on blocking if he does a low, but if he does an overhead, I have to high block. That suddenly gets to about 18 frames, which is about 300 or 20 frames, which is about 300. Wait, hold on. How's this work? 3/10. That would be 18. About 18 frames. 300 milliseconds. You cannot tech a throw in reaction, that's the point. You tech a throw when they're close and when you think that they're going to throw you. Or that you can throw them or whatever. This is some really high level play. He did that ducking, he didn't cancel the upper. He actually got the parry as part of his confirm too, so surprised he missed it. That was nice. I don't know if that was a cancel or, I don't know if that was a punish or what. I don't know what the frame data is on Dudley's cancels into ducking. I don't know when they're unsafe and when they're safe. You think that'd be something I should know, but I just don't know it. Whoa, that was such a bad hard uppercut. I have no idea what he was reading. Hard uppercuts aren't even invincible or anything. I think it was an accident. Dudley's overhead is just pushing the area where, like, you can still react, but it's hard as fuck. Which is why even at the top level, people just prefer to avoid the mix-up with backdashes and stuff like that. Even Daigo just backdashes. I feel like I get better success rate than 50-50, but I definitely don't block every overhead. Nearly every overhead, I think every overhead, is between 15 and 20 frames. The only ones I can think of that are different are, I think Hugo's down roundhouse is faster than that, but it's ridiculously unsafe, so whatever. And I think Ibuki's towards medium kick is much slower than that, but she can combo out of it. So basically really, really good overheads are slow and really, really bad overheads are fast. Nice. Didn't get all the hits. No, I did get all the hits. Nice. This matchup is very fun. I feel like it would be good to play Third Strike if only for some of the matchups, you know what I mean? I feel like Third Strike is a worthwhile game to play, even if you're only a Ken and you only fight Dudleys, or vice versa. It would still be a great game. And there are matchups that are bad. There are a lot of matchups that are awful. But the good matchups are really fun. And this is a good matchup. And this one happens all the time. People like it. It's a good matchup. Ooh, the red parry. Roast overhead was a 2-block string. Red parry window is 2 frames. There are no additional benefits to a red parry. It's just a regular ass parry. The only thing about a red parry is it's the parry out of block stun. I'm pretty sure this is 5-5. Even if it's not 5-5, it's still a good matchup. I don't mean good like it's fair, I mean good like it's fun. I think Dudley's overhead is safe. Or if it's unsafe, it's only unsafe against like grapplers. What the fuck is this? What happened? Where'd the Ken and the Dudley go? Suddenly it's Remy and Necro? This is still a good matchup. I don't know if it's fair. I have no idea if it's fair, but it's interesting. It's an interesting matchup. Notably, Necro can dizzy Remy like a fucking immediately. But Necro has a bit of trouble with Remy zoning. Not a lot, but a bit. Remy zoning is pretty good, actually. Remy's quite an entertaining character to watch. He's also quite rare. This guy's getting the corner throw a lot. It's just a regular throw. It's not even like a command grab or anything. It's just his neutral throw. Characters have 3 different throws in this game. Up to 3 different throws. Some characters have 2 or even 1. Their animation. I mean, everyone has a forward and back throw. Oh, it's best of 5. I see. That's good. Oh, wait, hold on. I thought you meant like matches. But you mean rounds. Yeah, the rounds are odd. I didn't even notice that. Was it like that last time? What was I saying? Something about Remy? Or maybe something about Necro? Oh, he could have done a jab, 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 flash kick. He could have done it there too. Oh yeah, but Remy's command grab is just a regular ass grab. It's not a command grab. But And he doesn't even have like a good mix-up to stop the opponent from teching it. It's very rewarding in the corner though. Most grabs in this game aren't that rewarding. Most people just don't really go for grabs at the highest level of play. They don't tech throws and they don't throw. Yeah. Stun rate of Necro against Remy in corner pressure. He's owning that fucking neutral throw into the corner. Cold blue kick is safe unless I think maybe like on some characters if you do like the hard versions. It's definitely safe against Necro. The fireballs are real annoying. He's running super 1, so he can do his ways of comboing super are pretty limited. He's basically got to do close medium kick. That's basically his big super setup. It's close medium kick. I guess he could do like a uh like a low strong light of virtue super or something like that. He actually probably should have done that there. That actually didn't chip out. I really thought it was going to. Or I can jump out of that. I don't know if Necro can. Characters have different jump speeds. Necro goes through the air very slowly. So I wouldn't be surprised if he couldn't get out of the way in time. And that's quite a hard parry. It's not a hard parry, but like the parry window is kind of weird. And if you've never parried it before, you might get fucked up. And most people block it, so like there's not a whole lot of incentive to parry it. Parrying super fireballs is generally not a good idea. Unless you're about to get chipped out, which he was. I'm pretty sure that super is punishable, but I don't know which characters can punish it. I thought Remy's flash kick would. Nice. Necro gets about 50% of Remy's stun bar with just a combo ending in super. Yeah, you can parry all the hits of Remy super. It's not even that hard. It's only like 3 waves of parries. It's like da 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 da. It's like that. Or I think it's 3 then 3 then 2. Actually, it's 2 then 3 then 3. Oh, he traded. That's a bit odd. This matchup seems to be pretty cool. This is a very slow matchup. You can't parry everything. There are unparryable attacks in this game. Nearly all attacks can be parried either low or high, but there's occasional ones, usually throws or semi-throws, that can't be parried. And then the occasional other move that can't be parried. Nice, that was very optimal. Let's actually watch that again because of how optimal that was. It was kind of cool. So, the back throw, he's got like 30% on Remy already, Dizzy-wise. Dizzy goes down very slowly in this game. And then he gets a combo into Electric Snake, and then Electric Snake creates a juggle state, right? And in the corner you can follow up, and he does electricity, and then if you do one hit of electricity, you can combo into Far Strong, and the Far Strong resets. But if the Far Strong resets, if the Far Strong dizzies, it doesn't reset. It knocks down still, and then he's got time for a taunt because he knew he was about to dizzy, and then back roundhouse links into super, links this and some other things too, but super's quite an easy link. You can actually do back roundhouse EX spin hook punch thing, which is quite a good combo. Super is easier and higher damage. The taunt raises the damage of Necro's next combo. It does not matter whether it connects or not. Remy's Jump Fierce creates a juggle state if he hits you midair. And then you can juggle into Flash Kick or something like that. Flash Kick is the general option. You can also do Cold Blue Kick into Flash Kick. Or you can juggle into Super 2 or something like that. Juggling to Super 2 is kind of shitty. Yeah, I like Remy's background too. It's probably my favorite stage actually. That hit on the last frame of his jump. That was kind of cool. Remy's jump jab is active for his entire jump. There's situations where that's quite useful. That's 40% of his dizzy bar just like that. It's gone down though. He is just jabbing and then not doing anything. He can cancel that into super or flash kick, or I don't know if it works with super 1. But you can do jab jab super 2. What an interesting trade. Yeah, Chun-Li's table. Everyone complains about that. Why would they put something in the foreground of a stage? What the fuck were they thinking? Necro won. That back fierce hit before the overhead good. You can juggle out of Necro's forward throw in the corner. And out of his light hook punch. Hard hook punch has a lot of hit stun, and you can combo out of it. He comboed into hard electricity, which gets 5 hits, which does quite a lot of damage. It's not necessarily his best combo, but I think it's his best meterless combo without super. That's an overhead. Necro has 2 command overheads. Or I should say special move overheads. One of them he kind of jumps and hits you with both hands. The other one he does like a weird forward flip and hits you with his foot. They're both pretty good, I guess. The one where he jumps and hits you with his hands is airborne on the first frame, so you can use it like a reversal, I guess, if you want to. That's a little cross-up. Sneaky little cross-up. It's kind of telegraphed, though. Dizzy incoming. Remy's got to be scared right now. Necro's back fierce is quite rewarding if he lands it. It's the launch. Then his little... Ooh, that was nice. Empty cancel, low short into super. That was actually really cool. This Necro player is pretty good. Oh shit, we lost the Remy. Necro actually has a pretty good time against Makoto. I mean, it's still a bad matchup. You don't want to fight Necro. I mean, you don't want to fight Makoto as Necro. But drills give her a hard time trying Nakarakusa, which is nice. He drops his combo. So it ends up not being that bad a matchup. That's a juggle. In corners, you can do the down back fierce, that move, the elbow, and then juggle out of it. This Necro is pretty good. Reversal window in this game is a true 1-frame window. You better hit that reversal. Pretty easy if you're doing reversal super. Other reversals are not worth mentioning. You can play Final Burn Alpha, Fedo. And you can use cheats with Final Burn Alpha. So you could have a cheat for infinite time, a cheat for infinite health for both characters, a cheat for meter, and that will give you something like training mode. I'm sure there's mods that show display health as numbers too, so if you could find one of those. One of Necro's special moves is like a little grab where he grabs your feet and it hits like a low, and it's too slow to combo into. It's not a true grab, it's just a hit into grab kind of move. It's a low block, and you can't combo into it unless the opponent's crouching, but then if the opponent's crouching, you can do stuff like low back strong into it, and it combos. But it's safe, so like a lot of Necros just kind of do a back strong into it as like a block string, and you can't parry it. It's unparryable. Nice. That's gonna dizzy juggle. You get cool juggles when you get dizzies. Yeah, he didn't even let her fall. When the opponent gets dizzy, normals that normally reset now juggle. It's kind of neat how it works. A lot of thought went into the juggle system in this game, and almost no thought went into the juggle system of Street Fighter 4, which was something I was really resentful about for a long time. Street Fighter 4's juggle system is incredibly plain and incredibly consistent. Oh, he didn't cancel fast enough to get a combo, or maybe it was just too far. That's the other overhead. Monk. That's his normal throw. Necro has an interesting property on his throw where if he grabs someone from behind, like they're landing from like a jump or something like that behind him, and it's a punish, then he does like a unique animation where he grabs your back and does like a suplex, and it does more damage than any other throw in the game. Amusingly, he can cause back turn with his hard hook punch move, but it doesn't. You can't throw someone out of it. Back turn is an interesting state. It's a state that's only in this game. I don't know if it's not in any other Street Fighter game. It's not in any other I'm aware of. If you've been back turned, you can still be thrown, but not by regular throws, only by special move throws. Necro has no charge moves, and he does not have any piano moves either. His electricity is inputted with a DP motion, and then you can mash the punches to get more hits. I feel like that's a very postmodern motion in fighting games, and I wish that they adopted it in Street Fighter 4, but they just left it in the dust. Street Fighter 4 was abandoned a lot of the postmodern elements of Third Strike. Whoa. Like charge partitioning and stuff like that. A lot of the very advanced schemes are just abandoned in Street Fighter 4, which is another reason I was kind of mad at Street Fighter 4 when it came out. There is still a mash move in the game. It's Chun-Li's lightning legs. Chun-Li is sort of an archaic character even in the context of this game. But it was kept for consistency. Amusingly, a lot of Chun-Li's other moves were changed. That's a good punish. I wonder if he could have juggled there into far strong. Necro is quite an entertaining character to watch. Ouch. That down fierce is his farthest range normal, I think, and that low forward and that sweep are also pretty good. There's the jump strong. Those are like, his normals don't have that much range. Like that move, the far strong, that's like, it's actually, it's just neutral strong. That's like one of his farthest pokes, and it doesn't even go that far. It goes like as far as Deadly Stand Fierce. Yeah, this game, even though it has some charge moves here and there, every single super is double quarter circle. Or, things like that. There's still, like, Hugo still has a 720, and there's a couple other random super motions that are unique. But for the most part, even charge characters have roll supers. No one has quarter circle back for a super anywhere in the game. Literally, quarter circle back is like a non-input for supers. It's always quarter circle, and then either punch or kick. Supers are, like, super consistent. Zangief, probably Oro, since I'm an Oro main. And then, if not him, then Necro and Urien. I answer that question all the time. People always ask that. Those are like my top three. Oro, Urien, Necro. In that order would be my most requested. And then the other characters I quite like are Remy and I guess Twins, maybe. Maybe Ibuki. Elena. How did I not say Elena? Holy fuck. Why did it take me so long to get to Elena? In order. Oro, Urien, Elena, Remy, Necro. No, Necro, Remy. Ooh, nice Demon. He buffered it during a forward dash. Demon takes both your superpowers, so it's real expensive. It's also a lot harder to do. You have to hit the inputs on... You can't hit them all at once, and you have to actually hit them, like, in order. In Street Fighter 4, you have to do jab, release jab, hit jab, and then towards light kick and hard punch all at the same time. So you can actually do that as fast as 4 frames. But in this game, they all have to be on different inputs. That was the air super. You don't see that often. It's usually shitty. It's not shitty. It doesn't carry a whole lot of risk. It's just hard to set up. Akuma is one of the best turtles in this game. He still usually rushes down because he's one of the best rushdown characters too. But he is one of the best turtles, which makes it very difficult in matchups where he does have to turtle. or matchup or scenarios in games where he should turtle, like if he's up a whole lot, like just now. Haitatsu is real good. Haitatsu is as good as it is in Street Fighter 4, maybe slightly worse. Maybe slightly better actually, because he can actually set up his supers off it. Akuma bleeds in this game. He has so little health. He has less health than any character in Street Fighter 4 has. Although the actual amount escapes me. He has even less than Ibuki and Twins. And they have nothing. Literally, Q with 4 taunts has over double Akuma's health. Like, generously over double. KKZ, what the fuck? And he got him. That's the other super that Akuma has that costs both your bars. Stands for Kongo Kokoretsuzan, I think. The first is unparryable. It does pretty rad block damage. And it does pretty rad damage. And it starts up really slowly, but is invincible for its full startup. The motion is down, down, down 3 punches. He has like the same... No, he has like less health. No, he has like the same amount of health as Vanilla Seth. Approximately. You mean how many supers does he have? Just Super 1 Akuma has 4 supers. You got the ground fireball, the air fireball, the KKZ, and the demon. All 3 of Akuma's super selection, you have demon and KKZ at all times. But you need both your super bars. All the super bars are the same length for that exact reason. None of Akuma's supers do that much damage, especially given how long the bars are. That was a trip guard. That was nice. This Akuma player is real good. I don't think Akuma profoundly beats Remy. I think this Akuma player is just kicking ass and taking names. Oh my god, that was so risky. Maybe he was going to cancel the last hit into super. I think he can cancel all 3 hits into super. And that should have chipped out. And it's like impossible to get out of that scenario. You can parry all the hits, but Akuma can just throw you. Like literally, you start, it's like 8 hit super. You start parrying hits, Akuma recovers by the time you're parrying like the 5th one. And then he can just throw you. And in order to get out of that, you have to tech the throw. And then you have to like, in order to take that throw, you have to like stop parrying to take a throw. And if Akuma doesn't throw you, then you just eat like the super. Because Akuma could just walk out or something like that. Not throw you. Or he could throw you, like he could throw you after the 5th hit, after the 6th hit, after the 7th hit, etc. It's nearly impossible to escape from. Akuma's just real good at chipping out. His KKZ is insane to chip out too. The setups for his KKZ are pretty few and far between. That's Remy Super 2. That's really long. This is why parries are stupid. Get the fuck out. That's why Akuma's Super 1 is stupid. Parries are good. That scenario happens a lot more in Street Fighter 4 than it does in Street Fighter 3. There are a lot of just dead zone scenarios in Street Fighter 4 where it's just like you don't have any escape at all. I can't tell you the number. I literally, like every single opportunity I get, I do it. Chip someone out with Ryu EX DP meaty. Or like Ryu DP cancel the super. I do that all the fucking time. And if they do a reversal, my DP beats their reversal. And if fucking they don't do a reversal, they block the DP and then they eat the super damage and then it does like 100 damage in chip. It's like cool. Have fun. This game is cool because that kind of scenario is so rare. That's like the only good example of that scenario in the whole game, and it's super thoughtful trying to create it. It's fucking Super 3. What the hell's happening? I haven't seen that super in a long time. One of the things I really like about Third Strike is that you're never out of it. Like no matter how much health you have, you still have like the potential to make a comeback, which is absolutely not true in Street Fighter 4 and in most fighting games. Zero cost, low risk. What are you fucking talking about? I mean, yeah, parries do make it a lot more guessing, but like guessing happens in a fighting game regardless. But I would absolutely say low risk is completely wrong. There are a lot of scenarios where, yeah, Super 3 is Electric Snake. There's a lot of scenarios where um, parrying something as opposed to blocking it is much more unsafe. Like let's say I'm Oro, okay? I'm going for um, let's say the opponent's waking up. Let's say I'm going for immediate attack, okay? Let's say I do stand medium kick into command grab, and let's say I do low medium kick into command grab. One of those is a high parry only. The other one's low parry only. So if the opponent's trying to parry, it's a 50-50. But if they block, it's just guaranteed. Like they just low block either of them. You don't have to guess if you're just blocking. And if I just go for command grab by itself, that's just a hard counter to parries. And there are plenty of hard counters to parries. Like any throw is a hard counter to parry. The only thing parries do is they shut down ranged game, which is, kind of sucks. But there aren't that many ranged characters in this game, so it doesn't really matter. It's like it hurts Remy, which is a shame because it'd be nice if Remy could be a good character, but whatever. Remy's got so much fireball pressure that even with parries, it's kind of hard to deal with it. Parry doesn't have a whiff animation, but that doesn't mean it's riskless. That's completely wrong. Like you can't option select parry like you're making it out like you can. It's not as easy as that. I mean, most parries people do are option select parries, but saying they're no risk is like completely wrong. Like what if like Ken does like far strong and you low parry, then all of a sudden fucking you eat like a far strong into Super 3. And what if you fucking high parry and Ken does low forward, and then you eat low forward into Super 3? It's not like it has no risk. Yeah, it's as much a risk as not blocking, and not blocking is really risky. Not blocking and not hitting attacks. It completely opens you up to a fucking low overhead mix-up. And if you fucking parry and you miss the window, that's you can't parry at all. Like you could parry and then immediately go back to blocking, but you can't like react like that. If you're trying to parry and punish, you have like you basically have to just completely sacrifice the ability to be safe. What do you mean if you tried to DP? Well, yeah, I mean like as opposed to that, you'd get punished harder. But like that's the thing, is like fucking parries don't unbalance the game or anything. Like every character has access to them. And it works really similar against every single character. I mean, obviously, at the highest level of play, parries do more to deconstruct, like, Remy than they do to deconstruct Chun-Li. But, I mean, obviously, parries are worth going for. But if they weren't worth going for, it would fucking be a big mechanic of the game that's just not used. Most parries are used for offense. Most parries at high level play are used as frame traps, like to supplement offense. Like you'll hit like a close strong as Ken, and then you'll option select like parry, and then if they hit a button, you'll parry it, and if they don't hit a button, um, you won't parry anything. But that does open you up for like low versus high parries, and it also opens you up for like walk and throw. Parries are like, you should be bashing just defend or something. That's what you're probably thinking of. I mean, obviously you're thinking of parries, but like everything you're saying about parries is like more true for just defend, and just defend is in a lot of really good games, anime games, CBS2, etc. Garo. That's like a parry without the risk, because if you do it too early, you just block. And parries do a lot of positive things for the game. One, they make it so the match is never really over. Two, they add air footsies. That's a really underrated thing that parries do. Is that you're much more unsafe in the air than on the ground, but also like in Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 2, you can't even get in the air at all. Like like if you jump errantly, it's just a punish. It's just a punish scenario. There's no thought whatsoever. It's just uppercut. And then that creates a really big divide between the characters who can alter their air arcs and the characters who can't. So it's like, oh, like I can't necessarily uppercut Dawson because he hasn't used his air teleport yet. Or like, oh, I can't necessarily anti-air Cammy because she might dive kick and it might beat my anti-air. Stuff like that. This game doesn't do that. This game, every single character can function in the air and on the ground. But it's riskier. You can't just, well, miss the punish. You can't just, like, jump in and air parry and be safe. You open yourself up to a bunch of other things. I've only played Dark Souls and I didn't even play that much of it. I don't even want to sound like a rabid parry fanatic, but I've played this game a long time, and parries don't do anything to make it less fun. I think a lot of people like, well, yeah, I mean, a lot of times it won't be a guessing game. Like if you're in the air, it's parry or nothing, and the parries are always the same direction. But that's sort of what mix-ups are. Like basically, that's like you have a problem. You have a fundamental problem with fighting games, and you don't seem to realize it. Is that literally mix-ups are guessing games, and if there's no mix-up, then it's literally impossible to open someone up. Good example of that is Marvel vs. Capcom 1. A game without mix-ups is awful. Like it's literally awful. It's just blocking. It's like get a life lead and then just block. That's a punish. That was anti-air. He reacted to the super jump and KKZ. Normally it's really hard to do that as a reaction anti-air, but Necro is super slow jump. The only difference between this and other fighting games is the mix-ups happen really, really fast. And really, really often. Because, once again, no attack is riskless. Because parries exist, and they can just really punish even safe attacks. That was pretty cool. The thing about, like, Street Fighter 4, for example, if you were taking, like, that game, um, if you parried in Street Fighter 4, I mean, not if you parried, what the fuck. If you had a mix-up in Street Fighter 4, and then, like, it pushed you out, or something like that, there'd be, like, a long period with, like, no mix-ups between... Street Fighter 2 is... Even the ground game is mix-ups. What are you talking about? Like, name a matchup in Street Fighter 2. Let's say I'm fighting, like, a Ryu or something like that. I have to time my jump in with, like, a fucking fireball. You think fighting games should just be, like, fucking have perfect execution for long enough? Well, that just introduces more weighting between the actual meat of the game. That just makes the game slower without making it more thoughtful. That was actually too far out. He was expecting a normal. The only time where damage actually happens is during a mix-up situation with two competent opponents. Unless it's like unavoidable damage, which is still stupid. For example, like the fireball trap in ST. It's like, oh, I have to block these fireballs. I have to, I mean, not like all of them, obviously, but like fucking meaty fireballs and whatnot. Meaty fireballs into meaty fireballs. Yeah, Third Strike is absolutely ground game. Third Strike has a lot of footsies. It's not on point blank either, although it frequently is. That's a hard parry. It's not like mix-ups don't happen because you're full screen. But the thing is, no damage happens when you're like when they're not happening, then nothing like meaningful happens. It's like nothing's meaningful is happening when like two Ryus are throwing fireballs at each other. They're just building meter. And when you start talking about, oh, like what if one of the Ryus jumped in, then you're suddenly introducing a mix-up to the scenario. Because what if the Ryu didn't throw a fireball and the other Ryu jumped in, then the first Ryu could suddenly like fucking uppercut him. That's a mix-up. All damage is the result of mix-ups. Or like execution errors or bad judgment or stuff like that. Parries aren't stupid. If parries were dumb, then fucking, I don't know. If parries and just defend were dumb, they wouldn't be in fighting games. That was greedy as fuck. He taunted, then jumped in and KKZ'd. The damage on that KKZ was going to be ridiculous. That was a medium Tatsu into DP. That's really hard to do. Difficulty is based on the character. That kind of scenario is super thoughtful. That's the stuff I really like about this game. That's parry based. That Necro has no idea. That Necro is locked down by the repeated parries of the red fireball, and then he has no idea what you're going to do when you get close to him. That kind of scenario doesn't exist in any other fighting game, and it's really fun to be in. It's really fun to craft those against your opponent, and it's really fun to try and escape them. There are a lot of useless taunts in Third Strike. The most useless one is Chun's, probably because it carries the most risk. It's the longest duration taunt, so there's like no scenario to get it off. The most useless in terms of effect is probably I think Elena and Sean have taunts that make it so their next combo does more dizzy, which is pretty useless. It would be absolutely incorrect to say that because Third Strike is entirely guessing games, that the better player doesn't always win. Because the better player almost always wins in this game. I mean, granted, there are a lot of times when the better player doesn't win, but it'll usually be by tiers, which isn't anything to do with parries. Like, the skill ceiling is super high by merit of parries in this game. And you can definitely be better at it than other people. And if someone's better than someone else, the wins are actually super consistent. Like, speaking as someone who's actually like really good at this game and who has played it for a long time, fucking almost 10 years, this game, the better player has a massive advantage. So if you think that like having a ton of mix-ups makes like adds a big element of randomness, it doesn't. It actually doesn't. I have no idea about what to think about Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem. I don't even like I love Fire Emblem, but I don't even know what to make of that. I've never played fucking an SMT game. I think. I think I've never played a SMT game. I don't know if Persona and SMT is the same thing. I think it's not, but I'm not sure. I think Persona's like a sub series inside SMT, right? Or some weird shit. Awakening is okay. I don't like what I acknowledge it's a great game, but I don't like what it did to Fire Emblem. I hate the support conversations. That's one of the biggest things I hate in Awakening. They didn't give a fuck about the supports in Awakening. The quality standard is super inconsistent, and it's annoying. Like, let's say, like Gaius versus... Or Gaius? Let's say Gaius versus Chrom. If they have their support, like, Gaius talks to Chrom about, like, how he's, like, a peasant class, and how the nobility, like, uh, makes the peasant class's life like uncomfortable without even realizing it. And it's actually like a super cool conversation. Like it's like you actually learn a lot about Gaius and fucking Crom and whatnot, and fucking it's like a political and fucking all that. And then you like read any of Gaius's other conversations with any other character, and it's like I like Candy. It's like his whole personality. I hate that. And a lot of the times the characters will have such cookie cutter personalities that the only way that they can like think of like something to do with the characters is just like, hey, let's talk about like off-screen things. It does that way more often than other Fire Emblem games do. And it's just really annoying. It's like fucking, hey, look, I made you a cake. Hey, take these fucking herbs. Fucking let's do thing with thing that isn't on screen. Let's be in scenario. It's never the characters talking, it's just them in a scenario together. You know what I mean? I found it like kind of a chore. And yeah, it is often food. It's like let me cook you something. I swear that's the subject of half the supports. Let me cook you something. I do like that you can support like everyone with everyone. I find that really fun and convenient. Like from a gameplay perspective, I like that you can get supports with so many different characters. I kind of hate it because like it ensures that every single playthrough you're going to be doing a shit ton of support grinding all the time, or not necessarily grinding, but like you're always it's a constant gameplay element to be getting supports with like standing near characters you want supports with. It's just how you play the game. It's just like fucking stand characters near each other that can talk. And that's usually a pretty small element of the other Fire Emblem games, which I find infuriating. It a lot of other ways it takes the best elements of every Fire Emblem game. For example, uh, having branching promotions is kind of cool. I don't like changing class. I do not like that element of the game. On one hand, I think the ability to change class is kind of fun, and I like that your options are limited. You can't just change anyone to anything. The only character you can change to anything is my unit, which I think my unit's pretty cool. I actually like that too. Raging Demon Punish, that was smart. I don't even know how Biorhythm works. I don't even remember if it's an Awakening. I don't even remember what it does. Um, what was I gonna say? Branching promotions are fine. Changing classes is kind of annoying because it raises the ceiling of the game to kind of a frustrating high, if you know what I mean. Like by reclassing over and over, you can get dramatically higher stats than if you don't reclass over and over, which I found kind of frustrating. Like the higher difficulty modes, like Lunatic and Lunatic Plus, assume that you're going to be doing shit like that. And then like the ability to get multiple different skills is on paper pretty fun, but it just takes way too long. It's not like getting different job skills in like Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that. It takes so long to level up your character to a really high level. And you need to do that. You need to get to like level 10 promoted to get your last skill or level promoted, I don't remember. You have to get like really really close to max level to get like the best skills. And so like getting like 5 really good skills just is a ridiculously long time. Also, the skills are not balanced against each other. Some of them are just awesome. Arm Shift is awesome. Gale Force is awesome. A lot of the skills are not that good. High Hostile, 215. I'm complaining about Awakening a lot, but there are a lot of things about Awakening I really like. I like the ability to pair up. That seems to increase tactics. That being said, pairing up is so good that you pretty much always should be doing it. But it does make it a lot easier to train garbage units, which I think is nice, because there are a lot of garbage units. One thing I really don't like is there's very few units in the game. I mean, obviously the kids like add like, you know, like 10 extra units, but like you basically only get like one of every kind of unit, and you don't even get one of some of them. There's a very small cast. And that would be fine if like there was no permadeath, but there's permadeath. But then again, you could like turn off the permadeath. So it's kind of okay. I'd left permadeath on, but I think like now, like having played the game a lot, I think I would prefer it being off. Or yeah, I think permadeath kind of ruins the game because of how catastrophic it is to lose someone. It's just game ending because there's so few characters. Other Fire Emblem games, even if you lost a lot of characters, it's like, oh yeah, Manaketes and Tegel don't have advanced classes, so you just have to class change them. I never used either of them, or rather any of them, since there's like 4 Manaketes. 3? Yeah, Noe, Na, and what's her face? Tiki. I didn't like the way their weapons worked. Like, you didn't get a shop to buy their weapons for a long ass time. Or like their plus weapons or whatever. The overworld I kind of liked, but at the same time I acknowledge it introduced some kind of annoying things into the game, such as grinding, which isn't in most Fire Emblem games. Oh, she flipped out the wrong way. He got juggled too high. That was a red parry. That would be a 1-frame parry anyway, and it was exactly the same 1-frame parry in that context. I married Robin with Noe for the lolly effect. Wow. I married Olivia because I thought she was the most kawaii. And then on my subsequent playthrough, I made a girl, and I married Gregor because he was a man. Every other character in the game was a boy, but Gregor was a man. Na's even cuter than Noe. My favorite character is probably Severa. Because she was all Sin Soon. That was a nice struggle. People do that. Dudleys do that to me all the time, and then they never do the second ducking upper. I'm like, don't you know the struggle stay there? Little custom intro between Dudley and Makoto. I didn't even point it out earlier, but it's kind of neat. You can, Dudley's car blows Makoto's gi. Very subtle. It's like they're 2 normal win animations, but they're like designed to interact with each other. It's kind of cute. A lot of the programming in this game is very subtle. Steam self-updater. I don't need this crap. If I go to bed now and I want to wake up at noon for delicious free, I shouldn't say free, for delicious lunch buffet, I would be getting 5 hours sleep. And then I would need to stay up 6 hours at least to run Bafael Cup. So maybe I shouldn't wake up to get delicious Italian buffet. Decisions must be made. All the women have constant children. Yeah. Who the child is based on who the mother is. The dad only affects like the hair color. The Italian stallion was Rocky. Cynthia. Whose kid was she? I don't even. Oh, was that Sumi? No. Who the fuck is Cynthia? I don't remember. It is Sumia. Oh. Cynthia's fine, I guess. I remember her. She was like a peg knight, right? Was she a peg knight? I remember she was like a mercenary accidentally working for bandits in the chapter where you recruit her. Sumia married Mike Crom. I think Crom defaults to Sumia. Depending on his supports, it will change though. Olivia's literally introduced just so Crom can marry her if everyone else is taken. She's introduced on the mission where Crom marries. That way, it's very difficult to have Crom marry no one. That being said, if every single person that Crom can marry, there's like 5 characters. I forget who they are. It's like Sumia, the Troubadour, Olivia, Sully, I think. I don't remember. There's like 5 characters that Crom can marry, and if all of them are dead or married, he will marry a peasant girl. Like literally just a completely random nameless character. And what's funny about that is, I shouldn't say funny, it sucks. She has garbage stats. So your Lucina has garbage stats. The peasant girl doesn't join or anything, but your Lucina stats are just really trash if she only has Crom. And Lucina is normally one of the best characters in the game. I had such a hard time right at the beginning of the game deciding which stat was going to be my weak stat. You know, like Varian? I thought he was cool. I like smug bastards. At least he had a reason to be a smug bastard. Yeah, it's more game killing when a character has garbage stats in this game because there's so few of them. Normally in Fire Emblem, like if I have a run where I have a character who keeps on getting bad stats, I'll just ditch them from the team. It's very difficult to will yourself to do that in Awakening. I forgot about that. That's kind of a problem. Ah, he dropped the combo. Of course, with reclassing, you can fix that, but once again, it just takes a long time. I had a really bad Muriel my first playthrough. Like a really bad one. She kept not getting magic for like fucking 15 levels in a row. It was just like, wow, your magic is garbage. I think the other mage has better magic than her. No, I think her magic is supposed to be better than his. Freaking. I don't remember who is supposed to be higher magic. Most characters have great growths in that game for like every stat. That's the problem with like that's another problem. Is the way that reclassing works. You keep like the fucking same growths, right? I think, or like they get very slightly modified if they get modified at all. You take a, because of the way reclassing works. Um, you take a character like what's the Maribel? What's her name? Is it Maribel? The troubadour? A character with bad growths is way shittier. Hi, J Hemp. Tharja is fine. Rickon is fine. Mariel is fine. They're all okay. Tharja is notable that she has defense, unlike the other two, which is nice. Defense is a nice stat to have, but it's not super important for a mage. But Tharja's other stats are all fine too, so whatever. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but Maribel, like a character with bad growth somewhere, it's like you have to reclass like a billion times to actually get their bad stats to not be bad. It's like it takes so much time to get Maribel's defense up because the chances of it going up are just super low. And like to actually get it to like 10 or 20, you have to reclass like literally 5 times to get it to 20 because of how low the growth is. So characters with a bad stat, like normally characters with very unbalanced stats are the best characters in Fire Emblem games because they tend to have like really good stats and you just play to their strengths. Like what's her face? Hector's daughter. Um what the fuck is her name? It starts with an L. Lilina. She's super unbalanced stats. She's got shit tons of magic and nothing else. She's got good speed. It's like fucking just use her as like don't let her get targeted. Just use her as a fucking fast, hard hitting glass cannon. Or like fucking I don't know, Lowen. Shit ton of defense, shit ton of resistance, good HP. It's like fucking just remove his weapons, use him as a giant walking tank, let him pull units around. Stuff like that. You play to a character's strengths, and then so the characters of extremes like Rebecca would be better than the characters of balance like Will most of the time. But in this game, because of reclassing, the characters with the most balanced stats are the best. I had a pretty good Vike. My Vike was really good. I had a lot of fun using him. I really like fighters, but fighters are often shitty. So the fact that Vike wasn't shitty is nice. The kids are really good. The kids have really good stats. If you're using kids, like they're often the best characters. Yeah, kids inherit stats from the parents, so you should try and get kids as late as possible. The higher the parents are, the kids come in at a constant level. The higher level the parents are, the better the stats the kids have. Oh, one thing that's kind of annoying is it's not always possible to get all the kids. Requires a little bit of thought on your part. Make sure that you, like if some character only has a couple husbands that they can have, you gotta make sure that you don't support them with other characters. We're talking about, Fire Emblem Awakening. There are a lot of things I really like and a lot of things that piss me off. Overall, I had a pretty good time. But I really hope that the next Fire Emblem game isn't like Awakening, and I have a sneaking suspicion that they're all going to be like Awakening from now on, which kind of annoys me. That's the biggest problem I have with Awakening is a lot of people. It created like a new breed of Fire Emblem players, and they're going to be the target audience from now on. So like the fact that Fire Emblem was really different wasn't too bad for Awakening. The problem was Awakening was really different and also really successful. While I think a lot of the differences weren't really necessarily positive changes, I'm worried they're gonna come back. Like I'm worried the next Fire Emblem game is also going to be like a Mary waifu game. I mean, I don't like waifuing has been present in every single Fire Emblem. I'm worried that it's gonna be like a kid game, like a time lapse game. Best Fire Emblem to start with is probably Sacred Stones or Fire Emblem 7, which is just known as Fire Emblem in the United States. You could also start with Awakening and Path of Radiance if you have that. But I would probably say Sacred Stones is the easiest starting point. That was too far. That's a really cool thing. It's a cute little punish. Or doesn't have that available. The hit just whiffs on him. That was cool. Dudley's got a really long Dizzy bar, so even though that's the most optimal combo for Dizzy, it still doesn't Dizzy Dudley. There are a lot of other characters with a long Dizzy bar too. There's 3 lengths of Dizzy bar in this game, short, medium, and long. Dudley is long. Fire Emblem is really good. Sacred Stones is on Game Boy Advance, you could just emulate it. Sacred Stones is one of the easier ones. It's probably the easiest Fire Emblem, actually. It also has a lot of neat features, most of which are present in Awakening. It's also completely removed from the timelines of every other game. So like you don't need to know anything about Fire Emblem lore to play it. Not that there's a whole lot. Not that it really even helps to know it. But you don't need to know who like Martha is or anything. It's a turn-based strategy RPG, yes. Actually, maybe Fire Emblem 7 would be better. That one had a really long dedicated tutorial, which might be easier to get into. Fire Emblem Blazing Sword, also known as Fire Emblem on Game Boy Advance. There's 2 US Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games, and a third one that's Japan only, but it's been fan translated on the internet, so you can go play it if you want to. They are 6, 7, and 8. 1 through 5 never made it stateside. 1 through 6 never made it stateside. It's a lot like Advance Wars. It's a lot like Advance Wars. The big difference is that your units are permanent and they level up. Like imagine if your tanks leveled up. And there's a lot of things that go with that. One is if your units die, they stay dead forever, so try not to let them die. And 2 is you can't, like there's no way to make units. Like in Advance Wars, you could just capture a base and then make tanks. You can't do that with the characters in Fire Emblem. What you have is what you get. But gameplay-wise, it's very similar to Advance Wars. The difficulty is very random, though. It's based on what your stat gains are, and it's based on it's based on what level your characters are. So if you have like a really good growths on some character, it'll make the game a lot easier than if you have really bad growths on everyone, for example. There's a cool juggle there. It was really cool, actually. I've never seen anyone do that in a match. I've seen it in combat videos. Rose. Yeah, there we go. Nice. You can get out of that just by taking the throw, but it's very tricky. It's not hard to take the throw. It's just, you're like doing a double parry. You're doing high parry, high parry, high parry, low parry, or high parry throw. But it doesn't have any of the stallishness that Advance Wars has. Like frequently in Advance Wars, you'll get to a scenario where you have a base and they have a base, and then you're just both pumping out units, and eventually one of you forces the other one back. That happens a lot in Advance Wars, and that's really like slow and tedious. That never happens in Fire Emblem. There are moments when the enemy can spawn units, but they never have infinite spawn. There's no infinite spawn units in any Fire Emblem game. I'm actually doing a playthrough of Fire Emblem 6. I almost want to go and play it now, but I really ought to get to bed if I want to wake up in 5 hours to get delicious Italian. Maybe I should just have Italian food tomorrow. Yeah, actually that sounds a lot better, because I was going to have Italian today for after lunch. Shit, dude. I have all these plans to have Italian food. I don't even like Italian food that much. I just realized, like, every single plan I have involves Italian food. There's a place near me called JoJo's Pizza, and it does a lunch buffet for like $7 where you get unlimited pizza and pasta, which is pretty nice in my opinion. They do Hawaiian. That's my favorite kind of pizza. Now you know. Sliced ham and pineapple. I love pineapple on pizza. Um, and then this other place near me called Lascari's does chicken pesto, which I adore. Studley is tearing it up. I've been thinking that idly since since like last match. This Dudley like is unstoppable. I feel like I've been watching Dudley Makoto for a long time though. I like Dudley Makoto, but like my interest is not in the match right now. Maybe I should just like close it. Let's fight like gentlemen. Bafael secrets.txt. It'd be kind of funny if someone like kept all the fucking secrets that I ever shared. Someone like made like a big like fucking top secret like fucking Bafael compilation of things about Bafael. I don't think that Perry would change 4 too much. They would need to have designed the game with Perry in mind, which they didn't do. Perry would ruin 4 in my opinion. Although I do like Perry a lot. But if they design it with Perry in mind from the start, which is probably what you meant anyway, I think that would be a really cool game. A lot of what Street Fighter 4 did was smarter. But I think that you could get to a balanced game through repeated patching just as easily as you could get to a balanced game like through smart game design. That awesome guy who uploads all them tutorials? Yes. I am Bafael. There should be parry breakers. There should be universal attacks that are just unparryable but otherwise not very notable. That'd be kind of cool. I would actually like that. That'd be a really cool system. Having throw be the only unparryable attack is kind of bad. That was a nice parry. He reacted to the fact that he landed and he just stopped parrying. It's a really easy parry. He could have just parried the whole thing. He didn't need to though. I like that responsibility. Not responsibility. The what do you call it? Discretion. I like that discretion. It's like I don't need to parry this, therefore I won't. How many Fukiages can you land? I guess in an optimal scenario you could maybe land 3? I don't know how much juggle they had. So maybe 2 is the maximum. I never watched the Maximilian one, but that one was probably good. I didn't want to watch it in case I just made exactly the same video. But then again, watching it would actually probably prevent me from making exactly the same video. I never watched any of the other Charlie like videos. Mine didn't have that much substance though. I mostly just observed. I didn't like say what effects it would have on gameplay, but it's kind of too early to say that anyway. That Charlie video is one of the videos that I would change a lot if I remade it. I wouldn't change it a lot, but I'd talk more about like the what the things would imply. EX Fukiage does not hit grounded opponents in Third Strike. That was one of the more ingenious changes in Street Fighter 4 and Ultra. That was probably my favorite change in all of Ultra. Ah, he should have done ducking upper instead of ducking into super. If he did ducking upper and canceled the upper into super, that would have killed. That's actually already happened in this video like 4 or 5 times. I used to never see it happen at all, but this Dudley just seems to be very vulnerable to it because of the ways he's going for supers. Well, you don't see it that often because most Dudleys run super 3 anyway. Whoa, that was a reversal super 2. I saw it. If you get hit out of the startup of super 2, it doesn't deduct the meter. Unlike Street Fighter 4. That's a cute little cross under. Is that close enough? It is. Oh, I dropped it. That requires a Kara Fukiage. It's kind of tight, I guess. Ooh, that was nice. He actually got the anti-air. It was super late, too. These characters both have a very interesting and semi-unique property to them. They both have 12 standing normals. They both have normals that completely change if they're holding forward. Her command throw seems to be more punishable in third strike. What are you talking about? It's less punishable. If you neutral jump her command grab, she recovers before you can punish it. It depends. I think Dudley's jump roundhouse goes down far enough. Kara Fukiage, I don't know what button it's done with. I have no idea. I'm not a Makoto main. I only know that it requires a Kara Fukiage. Oh, oh boy. I was only paying half attention, so maybe I didn't see what scenario you were referring to. That Stand Fierce was nice. Dudley has probably the best slew of normals in this game. That is his big claim to fame. Whoa! Stand roundhouse into short swing blow. That only works if Dudley is cornered, I think. It's a really interesting combo. It's 4 medium kick. I didn't even know that. Yeah, Dudley's got the short swing blow. Dudley's got a lot of little options. Ninja jump roundhouse. Ooh. He didn't confirm that. Big old guess. Far fierce. The reason that worked is because Dudley was probably going for a low parry. From that far out, all of Ken's good options are low parries. And so he did one of his bad options, which is a high parry. There aren't that many players to this event, I think. I think it's just cycling between the same players. I think there's only been like one Ken, one Remy, one Necro, one Makoto. That being said, Oros are somewhat uncommon. It is one of the rarer characters in the game. There are low tiers who are played with more frequency than Oro. Oro's going up a little bit in usage though, mostly because Oro's been discovered to be a pretty good character. I've always known. I think on paper Oro's top tier. If only because of the infinite. Oro has the most reward of any character in the game. This can. That was nice. Ducking straight into super. The way that juggles is different based on the character, I think. Straight does more damage than upper, I think, but I think upper's more reliable. I forget how it works. That's the air turret combo, anti-air. That's not even the best air turret combo to anti-air with, I think. Immortal Chicken Man, he fights with one arm. Old man makes scrotum face. Very, very poor sportsmanship, in my opinion. The rose killed him. I think that supers as a combo extender is better than supers as an additional option. But that's my opinion. I can see why someone would have a different opinion. But I think supers as a combo. I like supers because I like the supers in this game because they're readily available at all times. And your ultimate goal is how to land them. It's not just damage though, or it is just damage, but like the way that you use them is not the same as you use your other combos. Like Ken low strong doesn't lead to anything. I guess you could lead to EX Fireball or something. I've never seen anyone do that combo in my life. But like Ken low strong Link super is like getting a ton of damage off of a pretty low risk normal with high priority. But I think I don't really like reversal. Like supers to go through fireballs is fine. But fireballs aren't that good in this game, so even though a lot of supers do go through fireballs, people don't use them like that because no one throws fireballs. Um, supers supers like as an additional option for a like a new reversal option or something like that. That technically does work in this game. And there are a lot of supers that are like that. Like that super can be used as a reversal. And people do use it like a reversal here and there. The way that normal special super works as a cancel hierarchy just allows supers as combo enders very easily. Or like doesn't even have a scenario of normal special super. I guess you could do like low low forward into EX Oniyama into Super 2 and get the juggle. Or like close strong into high fireball into EX Super 3 and get the juggle. But for the most part, Oro works entirely without ever doing uh, normal into special into super. That being said, there are a lot of supers that are like activations, and not all of them are good. But Tengu Stones is an activation super, and so is Ganejin, and so is Sayembu, and all three of those are used quite often for those characters. Um, and then there are a lot of like setup supers. Like Aegis Reflector is a setup super, Yago-Dama is a setup super. And then there are a lot of supers that you use not for their damage, but for their dizzy. Or not for their damage, but for their speed. So even though a lot of them are combo enders, a lot of them are about creating a scenario. Hughes is technically an activation super, but like, oh my god, the Ken accidentally activated the cross counter. Um, Q's super is kind of bad. Super 3. It's not useless bad and or a super 1. Neither of them are useless bad, but they're both very hard to use. And like they have other better supers. Q has 3 kind of bad supers. One is alright because it's a good reversal, and you can hit confirm it pretty easily. And 2 is alright because it does a shit ton of damage and is like 2-frame startup, and you can juggle into it. But and 1 gives you a lot of EX. So, you know, they have their little pluses. But on other characters they would still be like they would be bad supers. Nice. Those are some respectable points. You should be winning all the time if you're playing Elena. No one knows that matchup yet. You should have like a free time. You should just spam her moves that are really hard to do anything about, which is all of them. If you don't know how to fight them. I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna start streaming immediately. That's the funny thing. I'm gonna get in bed at like probably like 7:30 or 8. And then I'm gonna wake up at like 4. And I'm just gonna fucking get on my computer and start streaming in preparation of BAF Cup. Oh, you don't know the matchups either. That's right. I didn't think about that. I forgot about not knowing matchups. I know like a lot of matchups now. It's like rare when I don't know a matchup. I forgot that's a thing that can happen to you. I forgot that's part of being bad. That's a big part of being bad. That's like the biggest part, actually. There's like 2 basic components of being bad. There's not knowing other characters, not knowing any matchups, and also not having good execution. I mean, there's a third part. There's like fucking not knowing the best things to go for your character. It's like 3 parts. I should talk about that. That's important. Maybe I'll make a video about it. This is gonna be like this is gonna kill. Oh, he fucked it up! How did he fuck it up? That was the kill combo. That was gonna Dizzy and the follow-up combo was gonna nuke the Dudley. That sucked. He missed the cancel. That was so bad. He had all the meter he needed to win. Elena is in fact my main. Oh, you asking J-Hemp? Isong wouldn't ask me if Elena was my main. He would already know. Isong is an Elena, and so am I. Uh, Makoto doesn't have a touch of death versus Dudley, or any character with a long Dizzy bar, but she's got damn close. Are you asking about Street Fighter 4, Frosty Black? Those are probably the most basic ones. If you wanted to get into slightly higher damage, you could do Ken stand hard kick into hard Tatsumaki, which does more damage but leaves the opponent grounded. Or EX Tatsumaki, which does a lot more damage, but costs a bar. And then Ryu, you can add towards Fierce before. You can do towards Fierce, crouch Fierce into Fierce Shore you can. And that's a 1-frame link. But it does add quite a bit of damage. Yeah, that's actually quite smart, Jacob. That's very true. Those are very basic punish combos. But if you didn't know them, they should be quite helpful. They don't, this is very irregular. They don't normally do best of 5 rounds on Japanese arcades. But they don't, doing best 2 of 3 matches, in addition to best 2 of 3 rounds, is a very new concept to Japan. So whereas we did like, you know, we do one match, and then another match, and then another match of fucking 2 different winners. Like, we did that. Like, that was what America did. In Japan, it would be like, the arcade system is just the best of 3 rounds. And in the US, we just did 2 matches. But in Japan, they would change the arcade boards because they still played in arcades. They would change the arcade boards to be best 3 out of 5 for tournament settings to have additional luck removal. You're welcome, Imgib. If you haven't even like, not only the Elena tutorials I made are pretty good, but I think the most helpful thing I've ever made is the Elena footage that I have of just me playing Elena. So go check that out if you haven't. But Japan didn't do best 2 of 3 for a very long time. Japan still does single sets for a lot of important tournaments. Japan is a little weird when it comes to like tournaments. I can help you escape scrubbiness, but it'll take a while. Getting good takes a while, it's just the fact of the matter. Even if you're doing it in a somewhat efficient way. I could definitely make you better with your character. Imgib. Oh no, it just reads better. I'm Gib. Should've just called yourself Gib, I doubt it was taken. Actually, maybe it was. Can you even have like a 3-letter username? Is that too short? What's the minimum? I'll play you whenever. What's your fucking Steam? My Steam is Bafael. Go find me. Or are we already friends? Oh, I can... Lunatic, you want my top secret Cody footage? Hold on. This is top secret. Don't share it. Nobody share. No one can ever use this Cody footage except the people in this room. That combo is actually very good. That clip is, or a very similar clip to that one is going to be in my Cody tutorial. Yeah, it hits meaty, or rather, well, yeah, it hits meaty. It hits delayed because most of it whiffs while the opponent's jumping. They won't ban Gen, they'll just patch Gen if they put Omega into the ranked. If they're going to make a change with the system, they'll just change Gen while they're in there. But they won't just change Gen, they'll change other things in Omega mode because there's no less than 4 infinites. Gen's is just the most stupid. That's actually a really good combo though, because the crouch medium kick doesn't get hit by most air normals because it's low profile, and then it hits meaty at like the same timing regardless of like what character you're facing, and then because it hits meaty you can combo out of it, and it's reasonably safe if you combo it to like light criminal upper. Whoa, the video ended.